What's going on, everybody? What a Dynamite we just saw. Awesome overrun, a little bit longer than usual. They needed to have it go. Obviously, a lot of stuff to talk about. MJF coming out, obviously talking to Briscoe. A lot of stuff going on with the Hurt Syndicate, the Outrunners, obviously going against the Young Bucks. With all that being said, a lot of stuff to talk about. Me and Vinny are going to get into it. This is the AEW Deep Dive. What's going on, everybody? John Anthony, Chairshot Sports. As always, a Sport Quinn affiliate and always powered by Zoa Energy. Thank you for joining us a little later, obviously, with a little bit of overrun over on TNT. I'm sorry, TBS. But yeah, man, what an episode. Obviously, if you guys don't know, this is the second episode, kind of filling in for Princess Skywalker, who used to do the rundown. We decided to roll the deep dive out. Me and Vinny giving our thoughts on the shows. Vinny from Suds and Squared Circle. How's everything going tonight, Vinny?
Going good. Literally watched the entire show work, listened to it, watched the main event on my way home. Thank God for Bluetooth and all this other stuff that we have in our cars now. I mean, back during the Monday Night Wars, if you were driving during Raw or Nitro, you could not watch it. So
you had to drive fast. You had to drive fast to get to the DVR, man.
Man. Yeah, no, it was a good show. I will say that. It was a good show. It's just, I'm still getting the hang of AEW.
And that's what makes this show so good. It's like the explanation you just talking about it, and I like that. That's kind of like going in, and you're getting the cool storylines now that are starting, so it's good to get your opinion on those. Isaiah, what's going on? Thank you for jumping in. Appreciate it. Yeah, this was a good episode. It was good for what it was. Couple things we'll talk about, obviously, but yeah, let's just jump right into it. Obviously, a great video package put together by AEW, showing Hangman, showing Mox from All In. Awesome main event that they had to blow off that to that pay-per-view. It was awesome stuff. Obviously, Hangman walking out of there, your new AEW World Champion. Awesome package put together by the AEW production crew. So kudos out to them. With that, we roll into what happened?
Sorry about that. I hit the wrong button and left the left the room.
Oh, I was like, hello. I was like, it's just me, Oos. Obviously, we roll right into the tag team eliminator tournament. This match is the Outrunners taking on the Young Bucks. Shout out to the Young Bucks, man, getting the jobber entrance, the no name to enter the social media, just getting that. Not even they're in the ring. They didn't even get an intro. They were just in the ring waiting. The Young Bucks, like it's just awesome stuff. You love to see it. They're really leading into it, and I love that. Great match. Great match. Obviously, the Outrunners are a throwback. I mean, you can agree with me, Vinny. This is a team you would see back in like the early '90s wrestling on Raw. You know what I mean, or even in WCW. Man, I love the look. I love the Newport pack pants that they wear. But they're really good, and I really thought this might have, for me, I thought this might have been an opportunity for someone like a team like this, have them have a big spot. Obviously, I don't know whoever does win this tournament does go to Forbidden Door, that they unseat the Hurt Syndicate. So I think it would have been a cool spot. At least have them get to the finals, take on FTR, to kind of right that wrong. But they didn't go that direction. The Young Bucks get a win. Obviously, it was TK Driver that got the job done. It was a lot of super kicks, a lot of stuff going on. But at the end of the day, Young Bucks are moving on in the tournament. What are your thoughts as far as the Outrunner team and as far as the Young Bucks winning that, moving on in the tournament?
You're right. The Outrunners are a throwback team. I like the presentation. You know, I thought it went a little too far having the Young Bucks just announced as Matt and Nick Jackson in the ring. Like, they just lost the EVP title. They didn't actually lose their entire, spot or main event status or any of that. So I think it went a little too far. It was a little hokey. But you know what? They're proving a point, and I give the Jacksons credit with their team being, with them being part of the elite and part of the, higher ups of AEW, kind of putting themselves out there as a job team and, not getting the pomp and circumstance. It's trying to give themselves a redemption arc. starting from the bottom, winning a tournament, going on to win the titles from the Hurt Syndicate. The problem is the Hurt Syndicate is over. So, it's like they're not
Big
really
time.
going to have a, redemption arc this way. It would be different if like, if the Death Riders had the title,
Right.
and they were fighting for the company. But I don't know. They picked up the win. I'm not a huge fan of the Young Bucks matches because I hate all the super kicks. Because that's like what they're known for. And I'm sorry, nothing will ever beat Sweet Chin Music considering it's one and done. But either way, good match. If the Young Bucks get a redemption, I don't think this is it.
No, I don't. No, I don't think they go all the way with that. It's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. If they go up against FTR or what happens as it goes down. Obviously, a lot of other teams have a lot of other stuff going on in their sectors and in their matches. So it's going to be interesting to see how that kind of turns out as we get closer to Forbidden Door. Obviously, the Young Bucks win, like we both talked about. Okada comes out. It's kind of just a beatdown central down on the Outriders. Whose house? Swerve comes out. Obviously, Okada and Swerve have probably a date with each other at Forbidden Door as well. Anytime Swerve comes out, it's good stuff. Hits the Swerve stomp on 3 gents with 2 legs. So I don't know how they did that, but that's how they called it. So that's awesome. Physics is great. So I mean, it's hit. Literally, the quote was Swerve hit the Swerve stomp on three guys at once. I said, that's cool. He's got 2 feet. That's okay. Great. Awesome stuff. Okay, great. Good stuff. Obviously, Swerve out there is always good stuff. He's wicked over. The crowd loves him. He's wicked athletic in the ring and always can pop a crowd, which is awesome. We get out of there. We go to the back. Mark Briscoe, Ricochet. Mark Briscoe's talking about MJF, wants his pound of flesh back, obviously, for keeping it talking about Jay. Ricochet rolls up with the Gates of Agony and pretty much is like, don't worry about that. Worry about me, because I'm gonna make sure you walk out of here in a pool of your own blood. I think we talked about it last week, man. I like this Ricochet run. It's so stupid. It's great. I love it. Just like how he acts like he's 10 feet tall with these 2 7-foot behemoths behind him. So he's talking like he's the man. I love it. Good stuff. Obviously, him and Briscoe ended on kind of telling each other, "I'll see you in the ring." Awesome stuff. The promo was good. Your thoughts as far as the Ricochet character? I know we talked a little bit about it as far as last week, but like you said, you are seeing more and more of it week after week. So obviously being aligned here with the Gates of Agony, your thoughts as far as Ricochet and kind of how the character development is kind of moving on week after week.
I kind of wish we saw this Ricochet in WWE.
I wish.
Like when he had the tag team with Braun Strowman, this is what it could have been. If they were positioned as heels, it would have been this character of Ricochet I would have wanted to see. Mm-hmm. He's showing his personality. He's not just all flip flop and fly. He's got some type of personality under there. So I'm enjoying the BDE, as Angela would say, the big dick energy that Ricochet is showing, and simply because he has 2 7-footers behind him.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. No, it's great, man. I love it. It's again, being a smaller dude, and we'll talk about the main event too, because I mean that main event was good for me. I don't know if it should have main evented with the matches they had on there, but I did like.
Was weird.
Yeah, but we will talk about it as we go on and talk about some of the other matches that should have main evented. But we stay in the back. Obviously, we've already talked a little about MJF as far as now. Mark Briscoe's calling him out. MJF is like, look, you and me talked about it last week. The segment with Bobby Lashley, like, you're out. I'm done with you. We're not helping you. We're not lackeys for you. MJF has to right that wrong. Obviously, gets the camera. He's like, listen, obviously puts over Happy Gilmore being the biggest movie in the world right now, with #1 on Netflix. So he obviously has a camera to show how great and how unified the Hurt Syndicate is. Opens the door. And Shelton doesn't talk a lot ever since being in AEW with this Hurt Syndicate, but when he does, it's good. And the promo he cut as far as getting the fake watch, this is the best, most awesome watch I've seen off of Temu. The crowd popped for it. MJF knew he got caught. And the fact that Sheldon's like, listen, MVP's not here. He's disgusted with you, and you're lucky Bobby's not here. But as far as I'm concerned, get the hell out. I'm gonna beat the piss out of you. And you're out of the syndicate. So that's 2 thumbs down. I think next week we see MVP, and we're gonna have another something in the ring probably with all 3 men and MJF. So that'll be interesting to see, especially after what happened in the main event, or after the main event, I should say, on the episode.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was a cool. That was a cool segment. Obviously, I keep going to you because I like to talk about it and see what your thoughts are. Seeing it week over week now, as far as what we saw last week with kind of Lashley putting them up, being like, "Listen, we're not here to help you." This week, Shelton's like, and Shelton was his boy. Shelton was the one who was like, "Hey, listen, let's let him in. Listen, Bobby, let's or Bob, let's let him in. Let's see what happens." And obviously, we get what we get today with Shelton. Your thoughts as far as the week over week, and do you think it's too soon? Because I don't know if you were watching, you saw he just got into the Hurt Syndicate about, I want to say 5-6 weeks ago, and we're already pulling him out. I mean,
that was a very quick turnaround.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, I mean, I hadn't been watching, but I still listened to, I heard about the results and what was going on simply from listening to Jim Cornette's podcast. So I'm kind of up on what was going on, trying to kind of work the AEW bias out of my brain. But, the thing is, that was a very quick turnaround. It's almost like I could kind of see what they were going for, almost like Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. He really didn't belong in there, but Sami Zayn actually used it to up his stock and get a main event, get a title shot. Whereas MJF, it's like he's trying, he won the, contract, and now it's like he wanted to come in and just take over as the leader of the Hurt Syndicate, and it wasn't going to work with MVP there, of course. And I don't know, it seemed like it was very, very short-lived. Like the turnover was just so quick. They had maybe 3 weeks of harmony with Bobby Lashley, with everybody accepting MJF into the Hurt Syndicate. I don't know. I'm still not there on this story and where they're going to. The only thing I could potentially think is MJF is going to eventually cost the Hurt Syndicate the tag titles, and then maybe we could see Bobby Lashley and MJF in a one-on-one series.
That's actually a really good point. Him coming around and costing them those belts since he's quote unquote kicked out makes a lot of sense. And I'm with you on as far as how short it was. I'm just like, and Sami Zayn is, a good example, but Sami was there. I think, what did we have? Maybe 5, in the time he was in that group, 4 or 5 possible splits or kicking Sami out.
Yeah.
And they finally, until they did it until it was uncomfortable. Obviously, he turns on Roman, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I think we all knew eventually MJF was going to turn once he got what he needed. I didn't think it was the contract. Once he got the Triple B back, then, he kind of starts acting, he's the more arrogant, prestigious, must-see person out of the syndicate. And Bobby Lashley's like, all right, no, MVP, deal with this man. Like, I don't know what we're doing here, but that's what I thought we were going for. I don't know if we came to a point where they got too deep, and I don't know if creative ran out of what we're going to keep doing, where we're going to go with it. But it just,
that's where it was.
Getting together with that group just to get him a contract to cash in is wild to me. I just, that's like, real quick. So that's almost like, that's almost like Seth Rollins getting the B squared with him, Money in the Bank, and then the next night Bronson and Braun like, screw you, and they spear him and they walk out.
Yeah.
Like, what? Why would you? Wait a minute. What? Or he curb stomps both guys and like, haha, I'm out. But why would you do that? You want that help. You want the people in. So that's
the only thing I could think of why they pulled the trigger so quickly is because of the injury to Ospreay. The fact that they're now down one main eventer, and even though Ospreay is a babyface and MJF is a heel, it's still one more person in the main event. I mean, we've seen historically that AEW doesn't live and die by the babyface versus heel. I mean, how many times have Swerve and Hangman Page flip-flopped, between heel and babyface in their feud alone. So I mean, it's really, I think it just has to do with the injury to Ospreay. They needed that other main eventer up top.
No, I totally agree. That it had to have been something like that because Ospreay definitely threw some kind of wrench into everything, and obviously with Swerve going over to Okada. So it'll be interesting next week. I think, like I said, is the not blow off, but I think this is where MVP kind of addresses the fact of where he's the one who put his neck out for MVP. I'm sorry, MJF to get in there and do his thing. So that'll be interesting to see next week. And again, we're staying in the back, man. For there's one thing I know I can count on Wednesdays when I watch this, regardless of what happens on in the shows, there's a lot of matches. This show had a lot of talking. So we go from there. Obviously, we go to the ring. We got Shivani in there. He calls out Christian Cage to come down. This has got to be one of the best promos Christian has ever cut, probably since WWE. And just running it up and down the gauntlet, covering everything since he's got the patriarchy together, addressing everything, that the fact he is an a-hole, and this is what he does. Everything he did is built on the scars in the past. Obviously, referring to WWE without saying it. I did like him calling out Cope, or obviously Adam, because they're close like that, and saying, I think you need to take a look at the mirror, buddy, because last time I checked, you were somewhere where you did some of this stuff underhanded, and you have some stuff on your wall and some things on your mantles that you kind of had to use underhanded tactics to get to, and look at that bank account, and that helped you. And I like that they threw it back to that because everyone knows who was the opportunist in WWE. It was the Rated R Superstar. Like Edge did some stuff, man. I mean,
hell yeah.
The man was hooking up with Vicky Guerrero. What are we doing here? Come on. I mean, he did everything he had to do, damn it. He understood the assignment. But a great promo. Obviously, the patriarchy is pretty much over. He addresses where he disowns, where Nick already has one dead father. Now he has a father who's dead to him, and he disowns Nick and Kip. Some not so nice talks about Shayna, which is oh man. Yeah, we would. I was like, we're going down this rabbit hole. Nope. Again, no pun intended promo, but that was cool. I liked it. It was hot, and I mean, it hot in a way of like, this was what you needed from Christian Cage because the next step is him and Adam doing a tag team. I don't know if it's going to be for the belts. I don't think it needs to be. I think just Adam and Cope, whatever the hell you want to call him, I don't care. Cope and Christian getting back together and rekindling that nostalgia. That's a tag team people will tune in for and put butts in the seats. That is good stuff to see. The other thing is, next time we do a concerto, please work on the camera angles. That was the worst sell. And again, this is an AEW thing where I'm pounding on them. I'm just that WWE does it too. Like, what are we doing? That was the most horrible. Like, dude, and then he's on the ground twitching, and literally the hands hit him. And I'm like, come on, man. Like, that move. That move is so goated and taking out so many people. And it literally just, they clap the chairs and the camera behind him. And I'm like, no, bad angle. No, stop.
Yeah.
But I say all that to just, I think it was great to see Christian kind of come around. Christian's your all-time tweener, and I mean, we can kind of agree with this. He did it a lot in WWE. And once he got out of E&C, he was that guy who, like, he had the peeps, but he'll also come out there and do some, some D-bag stuff. And you're like, I hate him, but I really like him, though. So this was a cool promo. Your thoughts as far as Christian Cage moving forward, moving into the Cope stuff, tag team, and kind of what you want to see out of Edge and Cope. Cope and Christian moving forward in AEW.
It's going to be a big nostalgia thing. I mean, both, the thing is, like, both Adam and Christian have bad necks, which forced them both in their early retirement at one point. So, the concerto obviously is a good tool to threaten, to give them and to always threaten both of them with it. But in terms of the camera angle, I can't comment on it because I didn't see that specific part of it. I was in the middle of cleaning fish guts off trays. But the thing is I was listening to the promo, and Christian is a great promo. I mean, he always has been. He's been a great talker his entire career, which begs the question why Vince McMahon wasn't a huge fan of Christian. But, obviously between Edge and Christian, Edge was the one with the look. Edge was the one with the more charisma, but Christian could hold his own. Um, I liked it. I didn't have a problem with it. He had a group. It's similar to, I mean, it's almost very similar to the way Judgment Day kicked Edge out.
Mm-hmm.
And now they have, the patriarchy kicking Christian out. Where's Luchasaurus? I mean, obviously I know that he had some kind of a health issue about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
So, I'm sure that he's probably itching to come back, but going forward with Cope and Christian, I'm game for the nostalgia run. I mean, you put Cope and Christian in there with Bobby and Shelton, they'll tear the house down.
Oh, that rivalry would be some families. Like, I would love to see that matchup.
Yeah.
Luchasaurus, aka Killswitch, either one, whatever you want to call them. Again, a lot of name changes in AEW, man. It's really confusing sometimes when we do these shows. I get a hit on, you know what I mean? I'm like, Edge, Adam, Cope, like, what the hell are we calling them? But I think if I had to guess, if FTR is the target, which they are, Cope and Christian kind of get it on with FTR, and if Stoke keeps getting involved, I think this is where you see Luchasaurus come back and kind of get, I've been out for nothing. Him and Christian got to kind of hug it out because they left on some bad terms. So, we're gonna figure that out. But if he does come back, I can see him kind of getting in with the two of them making a trio team, taking on FTR, Cope, maybe even tag trio titles. That's the other thing too. I don't think they get the AEW tag belts, but they should, because that puts a big mark, a big check mark in the box for Edge and Christian, winning another company's tag belts. That would be awesome.
Yeah.
What's going on, Casper? Thank you for jumping in. Appreciate you. So I'm excited for it. I think it's gonna be good. Not Forbidden Door, but I think All Out is gonna have a lot of these cool matches. I think it's gonna be cool to see. So again, I like the nostalgia act. Always been an EC guy. I've always been an Edgehead. I love it. So to see them doing what they're doing now in AEW, and that's the one thing I'll give Tony Khan. When people come, whether it's a retirement tour, whether it's the last run, he does do a great job making sure they're booked properly, and it's a good send out for them. I do like that what Tony does for the talent. So that is cool. I do like that. Again, going back to another backstage promo, we're talking about FTR. They're in the back. Stoke is talking as far as some gents that kind of were on them last week. Cope is banned from the building. Hurt Syndicate are cowards for beating them down in the ring the other night. And the Bang Bang Gang obviously is taking them on a special night tomorrow night, Collision, and one of them will advance to the finals of the tag team eliminator tournament. So that's going to be good to see. And then they obviously come up with the Young Bucks. Some weird thing where Stoke is like, you're no longer the EVPs, and he throws his crutch. He's like, ah! Like, what are you doing? It was the weirdest segment ever.
Yeah, there's a few of them. There are a couple of things where you just can't follow it. It's almost like they did a pre-tape and then they changed the story and never remembered to take that pre-tape out of the run.
Yep. I was like, what is he doing? He didn't like throw the crutch at them. He kind of just threw his crutch next to him. And I went, what are you doing? Like, that's weird. And then he like just hobbles away. And obviously they're like, these guys are fickle. We finally get into the match of the night. For me, it got a little hairy toward the end. Again, the last two matches that are on are great. Well, I should say three. I apologize. Three of them. We get the AEW World Championship match. The recall back for 2 weeks ago at All In. Hangman, Mox. The stip here is that everyone's banned from ringside. You show security guards lining the apron and lining the rail. Nobody can get in. Great match. This match really had everything I really wanted to see. It had a great pace. You saw, you had outside ring stuff. You saw pile drivers on stairs, pile drivers on the apron, pile drivers in the ring. There's a lot of pile drivers tonight in this match. You got a dead eye on the in the ring, a dead eye on the apron, a dead eye on the announcer's table. A lot of stuff going on with that kind of stuff going on. Great stuff. Obviously, the ref gets knocked out on one of the dead eye attempts. The Death Riders get to come down there. The belt gets thrown in. Mox uses it. Does not successfully get the job done. Hangman kicks out at 2 after getting hit with the belt. A lariat, deadeye, another lariat, buckshot, takes out Mox. Hangman walks out of there. Still your AEW champion. To me, I mean, I like the Darby spot. Just jumping up, 20 feet up into the crowd. Cool stuff. I like it. We're kind of like dangling Darby out here on the sidelines of everything going on, waiting till he gets his shot at Mox. Wait till he gets his shot at the Death Riders. So I like that they're kind of still teasing his involvement with them. But the match for me was good. I think it should have been. I get why we main evented. We need to go into the MJF stuff. It makes sense. But for me, I would have put this as the 1-1A, where I think that title had that AEW championship is seen more on this desk weekly doing shows with Jesse than it was on actual TV. And it's like that. You need to showcase that as much as you can. That's where you put everything around. You showcase everything around that belt. But obviously, you were able to hear it. You heard how the match went down. You and me talked a little bit about kind of being a little weird with it being a blow off. They didn't really sell anything about the death match. So to me, before I throw it over to you, for me it was a little flat because I felt like I just saw this, and obviously the weird step of now there's nothing in the. We went from death match, we went from Texas Death to nothing in the ring except for the belt at the end, and now these two are like if this was like 3-4 weeks if they ran it back at all out, I would have been like this is awesome. Let me see it. But like I just saw this 2 weeks ago. I don't know. I'm a little bored. What were your thoughts on the match?
I agree. I think it was there's a lot wrong with this story. I like Darby Allin. I can't believe I'm saying that. I like him. I think he's got some type of charisma, either that or a death wish, one of the two, or maybe both.
Might be a little both.
But see, here's the problem. I think Darby taking time off to go climb Mount Everest really killed the story for him. This kind of stuff should have happened back in April. He should have started, coming down almost like Sting to the NWO, Sting to Hollywood Hogan, coming down, being that, that savior, that dark knight coming out to, always thwart the Death Riders. Because it's almost, again, I feel like this story did you ever when you were a kid read those create your own adventure books?
Turn to page 25.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I feel like this story is if you read one of those books page by page instead of following the prompts to go. That's what this story feels like to me. Because none of it really comes together or makes sense. The chapters are out of order. This match should have happened before the All-In match. At least, this match should have happened a month before All-In, with Moxley winning because of the ref getting knocked out and the illegal outside interference, thus, getting the blow-off with the Texas Death match at All-In. That's how it should have gone. Darby coming out, thwarting the Death Rider should have started way back when. So it's just all disjointed.
And the biggest thing with me, Darby again was like you coming down from Everest. Obviously, you're the guy to come and make a statement. I don't really think, and I get why they did it. So I don't want it to go like I'm poo-pooing it. Daniel Bryan didn't need to come out in a mask and get involved in the main event. All I needed was Darby to do the drop down again, a la Sting, and obviously I'm okay with that because Sting pretty much anointed him the
exactly.
So that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
But when Darby came down, it's like nobody knew what was going on until he was on the apron, and he just kind of stood there. What I thought for like 30 seconds and just hung out. You know what I mean? He really, it's like he should have been the one to drop down, turn around, and Mox goes, "Oh shit!" Like, "Oh my god!" Like, what did you, unhooks himself and does some stuff, whether as a weapon, whatever he does to Mox.
I think the only problem with that is that Darby really isn't that intimidating to look at, whereas Sting was.
Oh God, yeah, jeez.
You know what I mean? That's the only problem. Darby Allin is, 112 pounds with dimes in his pocket soaking wet. So it's just he's not intimidating.
It's true. That's why it's funny. That's why. Nobody wants to talk about that though. Like the dude's so small. He really he's not gonna say he's like a midget. I'm not saying Vanilla Midget. I'm not going there. Hi, Kevin Nash. I'm not saying there. But listen, I'm just, he's obviously a little smaller stature. Like it's tough for
Yeah.
him, and that's why I think it's cool. Again, we talked about the Death Wish. He has that extra part of him where he needs to do this wild stuff where it's like, oh, he's making up for being the daredevil. Oh, okay, I get it. He'll do anything to win a match. Glass,
Yeah.
coffins, you name it, he'll do it. But yeah, no, I
He's-
totally go ahead.
He's this generation's Spike Dudley. I mean, that's what it boils down to. He's a smaller guy. He's good. I'm glad he's not a luchador. I'm glad that he's, not somebody where he's in a mask, even though he's got half his face painted, but he's got personality.
Right.
He's not hiding behind a mask. He's not hiding just because of flipping and flipping and flopping. He does aerial moves. He has an aura about him. He's just not, I don't know. I can't see him as a world champion. He's not. I mean, and Rey Mysterio was a world champion because he's got his charisma is bigger than he is, but at the same time, he's built. He's, and whether it was steroids or not, I don't know, but he's still built. He's closer to that 220 range rather than 120. So it's a lot to be, intimidated by Darby Allin.
And Ray's moveset also was wild.
Right.
Like, Ray
exactly.
oh my God. Like Ray had move after move. He was like, it's like watching the list of moves from Jericho, like just like rolling the scroll out. Ray could hit you with anything, including the kitchen sink.
Including an R bar.
Yo. R bar. Yeah, no, I agree wholeheartedly. And I just think, again, not to poo-poo Darby. That's why we do this. It's a deep dive. We're kind of explaining what we're saying. And again, Vinny obviously is new to this, so I'm watching. Me and Vinny have watched a lot of stuff, WCW, WWE, all in the Attitude Era. So comparing it makes sense because I feel like Darby's going to get this win because it's the feel good moment. It's the
right.
Nobody obviously lucky no one's passed away, but
yeah,
it's the Christian to Edge when Christian had to. So it's all Christian to Edge again. Christian hold his own, decently built, not the best wrestler, got the World Heavyweight Championship. Orton took it to him. Got the belt, then took the belt back, and that was it. But Christian had the feel good run.
Yeah.
Darby comes back, which is, but see again, choose your own adventure. Now it's on Hangman. Hangman and Darby aren't going to fight unless Darby decides to join the Death Riders. Like, doesn't make any sense. Now you get two faces who are wicked over, like you just said. This is out of place. Hangman should have been like, it should have been Mox, Darby. Darby gets it. Pick a match. Mox gets it back at the match we got tonight. Mox wins, and finally he goes, that's it. Texas Death, all in. Boom, blow off. Done. Then you get the drop down. Everything else, because Darby's like, you took the belt from me, but I'm going to screw you this time. Boom.
Or either way, or even differently, this run by Hangman could have been kind of like when Luger beat Hogan at, in 1998 or 97 before Sting did because of the 30-day clause.
Yep.
And then Hogan got it back at Road Wild.
That's when they honored that.
Right. So that's what this Hangman thing could have been. He's been champion before. He wasn't the AEW Knight in Shining Armor. Darby Allin was. Darby Allin, is the one that, the pillar that hasn't had the world championship yet. That's what you could have been building up to for All Out or what have you. But now it's, again, Hangman has a title. Where do you go from here? You're going to go to MJF and Hangman Page? Well, what happens with this group that you have, the Death Riders? When was the NWO ever not main event until like the very end?
Oh, God. Oh, all the time.
Exactly.
All the
Hogan,
time.
Or Hall and Nash or Savage or any number of the top tier NWO members were always in the main event. And yes, I know we're comparing apples to oranges because it was a different time back then.
But still,
the psychology still works.
Mm-hmm.
You have this group that's an outlaw group. They're meant to be strong. They're your top heel group. You're supposed to have Moxley as the Hollywood Hogan. Moxley is the champion. Good God, I just compared Moxley to Hulk Hogan. I don't know what the hell's going over me.
What's in your cup right now? What are you drinking when you get what's in that cup, Vinny? Whoa, wait a minute. Whoa.
But
that doesn't work for me, brother.
You're right, Isaiah. NWO main event from July 1996 until November 99. So
wild. What a run.
Exactly.
So they also had
the
1,700 people in the group, but that helped a little bit.
Yeah. But the Death Riders have been together for 8-10 months, maybe. They started around last summer, the end of last summer.
Well, Mox's run was they've been about a year together forming. So Mox doing the whole thing has been about over a year. Once he started kind of like getting
when did they shift from the BCC to the Death Riders? That was All Out last year, right?
Yeah. So you're looking at about a year.
Yeah, so close to a year. A year. And they're already pushed down the card because Moxley lost the title and now he lost to Paige again, and Paige is moving on to MJF. Like, there's just some disconnect there in why, granted, MJF is a big heel. He's a great heel. But you also have this heel group that should be main eventing all the time. I don't know. I don't understand the booking philosophy, if there is one, that Tony Khan has. For somebody who claims that he's a wrestling historian, a wrestling fan for years, followed WCW, followed ECW, followed WWE.
Yep.
But his own company is just not showing that fandom or showing that historian understanding the booking.
You said something when you talked the first time about as far as the match and everything, and kind of like you said, it's kind of everywhere. Again, I don't condone, it goes to either, divas, women wrestlers wanting to have, want to start families,
right.
Male wrestlers got to go and be with their wives, whatever's going on. I'm not a deterrent of TK looking at Darby and saying, listen, you can't climb Everest. I need you here. Because Darby's like, this is like a once in a lifetime, dude. I gotta go. Like, I gotta go now. Like, I can't. I might not be able to do this ever again in my life. So I get why. I totally do it, and it's awesome what Darby did, man. Planting the AEW flag up there, like, awesome shit. Not a lot of people get to do that. Awesome stuff to watch it. Awesome to see the documentary on him doing it. But really, though, that you saw what was going to happen. You saw the breadcrumbs. You saw the seeds being planted when Darby and him. He's like. Mox was like, I see something in you. I don't know what it is, but and you saw them like that he was going to be the one to take that belt because it was almost like he respected Darby so much, but yet hated that he respected him. It was that kind of thing where it's just like, you're too damn good, and I hate that you're that good, but damn it, I respect it. And then kind of Darby was like, whew, and then goes and does Everest. And now, like you said, Hangman's kind of like, I guess next man up. Hangman's here. We got to have someone go against him. But the biggest problem I see, and I think we talked about this last week as well, Hangman has the belt, right? MJF, Mox, making sense of a storyline, giving the next two heels he's going to face. That makes sense. You don't just pull up. There's nobody. Yeah. We talked about it last week. Claudio? Like, who they running out here? It's just like, unless you're pulling someone up from, not obscurity, but the mid card, it's just, maybe you go get, Kyle Fletcher, which doesn't make any sense. He's embroidered with Dustin Rhodes right now. He's not doing anything. Guevara's a face. So anybody that would make sense to me that you could get as a heel coming in, kind of like kicking at him in the nads or something, and like whatever. I don't know, but there's nobody.
Yeah.
And Christian would have been probably the next one up, and now this man's about to go face with Cope.
Yeah.
Where are we going? There's nobody.
Exactly.
And I think that's the biggest problem that TK has. I think AEW has. There's a lot of great faces, not a lot of great heels. And everybody knows, man, you can have your antagonist, but you can have a protagonist. You need damn good protagonists and antagonists, and that's a good thing WWE does. Their antagonists are wild.
And I think that the one of the things that here I'm going to say this, and then I'll explain why I say it. I think half of the reason that there are no good heels in AEW is the fan base. And I say that because the fan base will cheer for anybody who does good moves in the ring, anybody that pushes the envelope, anybody that's edgy. The AEW fan base is going to cheer for them. MJF, he doesn't give a shit. He'll be a heel inside, outside the ring, on social media all the time. He's great.
Is real.
Your heels have to be like MJF. You cannot be a heel on TV and then on social media be a fun-loving person. Ricochet on social media has been a prick. He's got to be that person on there because he's a heel on TV.
Yep.
There's too many people that chase the hug. They don't want to hate people, or they don't want people to hate them, I should say.
Right.
So Hangman Adam Page has been a babyface and a heel in the past year in his in his own feud with Swerve. Swerve has been a babyface and a heel both. It all depends on where the wind blows. Right. They need to establish, take Swerve and make him a heel if he's a heel. Make him a face if he's a face. You can't have him, doing a home invasion on Hangman's family one week and then the next week be a babyface. It just doesn't work.
Yeah. And that was the other one. That's the name I obviously omitted. I apologize to Swerve. But again, I think they're in a spot. Go ahead.
They have Okada. Okay, Okada, he's a heel. But
do they though? Him for the world. He needs to get some. He needs to find.
He's not what he was in Japan.
No, that's why it's so tough to see him as like the world champion. Yo,
I can't. No, he has to commit to being who the Rainmaker was.
Yeah, I don't need the middle finger stuff. I don't want the bitch. I don't want any of that. I want you to come out just strong style the shit out of everybody in the back, and just get that belt. And Swerve. And again, we talked about it. I think Swerve might have been the one guy to kind of look, not necessarily turn back on Adam. He obviously helped him win it pretty much, throwing him the chain at All In. But it's almost a respect factor where Swerve could have been like, again, Swerve is a great tweener, man. They love him as a face, love him as a heel. So he could have been that guy where it's like, listen, I get it, we buried this, but listen, man, that's mine, and you got it. I helped you get that. So let me get that lick back real quick. Let's run it back. But I feel like at the end of the day, it would have had to have been Swerve getting booed and Heyman getting cheered. But you need Swerve up here because there's no Will. Will is like the I compared to Cody Rhodes of the company. People don't like that because obviously with Cody be leaving, but I'm serious. Will comes out, he gets the pop. He's the one who gets on the mic. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Who's happy to be here tonight? Popping everybody, man, and just that's Will. But without Will, you need Swerve for the whose house. And everyone goes nuts, and they're driving and they're swerving in the stands and stuff. Which a lot of people, man, when they put the camera on them, should not be swerving and driving. But they need to not be doing that in the stands, man. Yeah. But no, at the end of the day, I'm happy for Hangman. He finished his story like we talked about. It's obviously now Mox has been kind of kicked away. It looks like we're going MJF, Briscoe. Briscoe, I feel like gets the shot first. MJF gets it after. Maybe they're just buying time until Billy Goat comes back. I don't know, but we'll see what happens. But yeah, I think they had a little bit of a problem as far as heels faces and what kind of how. And I just want I want it to be booked properly. I don't want Heyman to kind of be stuck out here and and that's the other thing. So now we're having respect matches now. Like now it's going to be you're going to have Briscoe and Page fight out of respect. Yeah, that's nothing. That's nothing good for Mark. Like if you want to feel a good story, let Mark win that damn belt. Like Mark should be the AEW champion. Is he championship material? Not necessarily on the big stage like that, but this one's probably owned because of Jay. Like I get that. If he has a 3-month run, I'm cool with it. And obviously he's got the feeling, he's got the fire from his brother and everything. That makes sense. You know what I mean? He's kind of got that will to keep pushing. Great sense. I love it. It's awesome. But you got to take it off a page to get it onto. Again, like you said,
here's where they made the mistake.
This page should really be open. This page. Go ahead.
Here's where they made their mistake.
Yeah.
Putting the tag titles on Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin and making them a tag team. Why couldn't they just be a loosely aligned group? Why did they have to be a tag team? Could you imagine Bobby Lashley in the AEW World Title picture? Bobby Lashley and Hangman Page. Bobby Lashley and Mox. Bobby Lashley and, insert name here.
I would say Bobby and Swerve.
Oh. Yeah, Bobby and Swerve would be great. And Shelton Benjamin, he's a good, TBS or TNT champion material, or he could be feuding with Okada or with Kenny Omega or anybody on the mid card side. I wouldn't mind Shelton Benjamin being world champion, because I think he is in that company. He's world champion material.
Absolutely.
But they kind of saddled the Hurt Syndicate with the tag titles, and now they're kind of just a tag team. And I get that the story was going to have MJF go over there as the lead, the world champion of the group.
Right.
I don't know. It felt a little disjointed to me. I really feel like and I know Tony Khan came out and said, we're not going to hire all WWE cast-offs and everything. I really wish they really made a play for Cedric Alexander and brought him in, because if they really wanted to reform the Hurt business, bring Cedric in, Cedric and Shelton as tag team champions, that's more believable than Bobby and Shelton.
Bobby, and that's the whole thing. I saw MVP in person. I saw all three of them. I met Bobby Lashley. I got a privilege to meet him last year. And MJF, that's too many three letters that starts with M, man. I can't keep doing this. MJF, the stuff you saw with MVP talking about, online, you see him talk.
Yeah.
He was spewing that in public, very loud. Somebody they had a Hurt Business shirt on, and MVP was just went on this whole rant, turned the kid around so he could, and it was like this whole that hate is real. I mean, there is no kayfabe, there is no work. They do not like each other. But I say all that because what did everyone get mad about? Oh, the Hurt Business is mid card. Oh, the Hurt Business. That's what they're doing now. They're just tag team champions.
Exactly.
Nothing against the tag belts. Where's the World Heavyweight Championship from the Almighty? Where's the run he's supposed to get that Vince VKM kind of cut him out? Or apparently, this one was Paul apparently, but Paul Levesque when he gave him the right run, and Nick Khan didn't like him. So now they're here. Bobby's been here for 9 months now, and for 6 of them they've been tag champions.
Yep.
That screams mid card. So
I mean, hell, Leo Rush is there. They could have put Leo Rush in the Hurt Syndicate. He was Bobby's manager for a while. They did a damn good job too. But
where he would bend over and look at
my
man, Bobby Lashley.
That's where he got the almighty gimmick from was Leo Rush. Mm-hmm. Put Leo Rush and Shelton Benjamin together as a tag team and have Bobby Lashley as the world champion. They could have used him that way, and that would have worked on multiple levels. Bobby Lashley is a big heel. He could have been your top heel in the company, and your top non-Death Rider heel. Who do you have? You have MJF now as the top Death Rider heel, but you don't have enough heels as in the main event picture.
And it just sucks because, again, I don't know how TK is going to do it. I don't know what his plans are moving on. I don't think any of us really know. But the fact of I feel like it's going to be when the tag titles do get dropped from the syndicate, I really hope it's not a matter of, okay, well, guys, we got to disband you guys because now you got to go. No, keep the group, Tony. Don't break them up. Yeah. Now they're just going to go for the world title. Don't break them up. And I feel like that's kind of what's going to happen. And Shelton's like, well, I'm just go separate ways. Yada.
It's historical. It's based on the history of AEW and Tony Khan.
Yeah.
And I've said it before, any new guys that comes in, he treats like gold for a couple of months. It's like the toy Christmas from a kid. Plays for a couple of months and then forgets about it. Happened to Rusev or Miro. It happened to multiple people. Unfortunately, the Hurt Syndicate kind of wore out their welcome now. they're at that, almost a year, and TK's not booking for him.
No, they're not even having good tag matches now. I mean, they had
No.
a Private Party and them had a great match. Obviously, they're going to be. I don't think FTR was my pick. I forgot who I had picking winning the whole thing. Oh, I have the Gates of Agony winning the whole tag belt. But again, Gates of Agony, you're trying to push Ricochet. These guys at Gates of Agony are amazing. Amazing what they did before they came to AEW. They're amazing at what they do. This team, you got something really cool you can do here. It happens in WWE does it all the time. Like, let's say they win the tournament, Forbidden Door, boom, Hurt Syndicate loses. Who's to say it all out? They get the rematch and win them back. But you need to have, if Ricochet's going to walk around with powerful, influential dudes to build his group, what's better than having Ricochet chase it? And Ricochet's going to have that world championship. Again, you want to talk about a smaller guy, let's keep the energy. But Ricochet, again, his moveset, it's like a Rey Mysterio. Ricochet will bust anything out and can really beat the hell out of you. And plus, he has that psycho, the American Psycho kind of gimmick thing going on with the shears. So that also helps as well. But
he's got to have a match with Hangman then. He needs to be elevated to that part, to that level.
I think Gates win the belts. And what's better than for Ricochet to stand there giving a promo, talking about how great they are and how this is what we're doing. We're going to take over with, you got tag gold draped behind the 7-foot dudes behind you. And you're like, I'm coming for the belt. Like, but now you got two. Yeah. It's legitimate because you got these two big boys who are the top of the tag team division. So hopefully they get it right, man. I don't know. Tony just came out today, and it's all over X, it's all over the internet, and now he's talking about they're having creative meetings. Man, you're like 6 months too late, bro. You're just now having the meetings. You got a lot of stuff to go back and help because
he's 6 years too late.
Oh my God! Like, well, no, because when it was Cody. And I'm not just saying Cody, he's a WWE guy, but it was Cody, Omega, when they were booking, when it was the rankings. And Cody and the Bucks said, we're making this for wrestlers. Like wrestlers that want to come here and wrestle. They have the rankings. It made sense. Like, this person's 9-0. Damn, they're number one in the rankings. They get the title shot. When Cody left, the rankings went away. Then they came back. Then they got rid of him again. Now, I get it. Rankings, it's tough to do by that. It's tough because you got a lot of booking to do around that. You got to make things make sense. A lot of number one contender matches, things like that. But now it's just like everyone. It's like Tony was like, "Oh shit, I got now. It's whoever we sign. I got to promise." It's almost like you're promising. Listen, if you sign here, the first 3 months we'll get you in a title match. We'll give you the belt. That kind of stuff. That's why the rankings made sense, and the Bucks talked about it. Cody talked about it. Omega, all of them. That's when AEW was like, it was great. It was definitely different, and that was the edgy stuff they wanted. Now, it is a say what you want about Tony, is not in the image I think that any of the 5 original founding fathers had when they started this company. That's just my opinion. I don't think it's anything that the Bucks, Omega, Cody, Brandy, anybody thought that there was going to happen than what it is now. But
no, I agree with you. When they first started, having rankings was different. WWE never did that.
Nope.
They never. You never had the records being shown and moving up kind of like a legitimate sports league. You watch baseball, it's like, and you see the rankings every week, whether who's ahead in the AL East, how many games back, how many, who's going to earn their shot at the playoffs and the World Series.
Mm-hmm.
But they got away from that. They got away from their original mentality. And granted, Cody leaving was a big thing for them, a big hit. Because again, Cody came from the big leagues. For all the garbage that, the elite fans talk about, doing the Bullet Club, going to Ring of Honor, going to New Japan, doing the indies, not wanting to, go to the WWE and sell out or whatever the case was. They don't have the experience of being in a big major production. And Tony Khan, I love the fact that he's a fan, and I love the fact that he's able to have his father's money help him to put another product out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying you have to be exactly like WWE, but you have to have the infrastructure. You have to have, that's the one thing that, again, when Vince Russo went to WCW, what did he do? He brought production meetings. where everybody got on the same page. Now, granted, Vince Russo's not the best, the best example because a lot of his booking without Vince McMahon as a filter sucked. But
he has some wild booking away from WWE, bro.
Yeah. But, when it comes to Tony Khan, surround yourself with people who have been in the big leagues of WWE. Jen Pepperman is a good example. Not only did she write for WWE, she also wrote for soap operas.
Yep.
So
perfect person.
She knows storyline. She knows story. I don't know Colt Cabana or QT Marshall's, history in booking. Neither one of them were actually in WWE. Well, Colt Cabana for a cup of coffee, but he was never in creative.
Like Colt Cabana.
But you need to have those people that have been to the big leagues. Will Washington, who is he? He never worked for WWE. I know they had Keith Mitchell there, who was big in WCW. He's retired. So who are the people that are shaping television, shaping the stories? Where's your story Bible? Eric Bischoff talks about it all the time. Have a story Bible. It's the same thing in the soap world. You have your 4 main stories. You have them rotate. You have everything booked out for 6 months to a year.
Yep.
Injuries happen. I get that. But at least you have your main stories. You know what's going to be on TV. I think Tony Khan books for social media. I think it's just, what pops on social media when something goes viral, he wants to be the first one to acknowledge it and put that on TV. Well, that doesn't help for long-term storytelling. That doesn't help for booking when everything is so convoluted.
Yeah, and I'm not a ratings guy. I'm the first. Excuse me. I'm not the one that I look and like, oh man, you're under 400,000. I really don't care. But I did see a number that was kind of shocking to me, and I don't care what 3 letters that are on your check. If this is your company and this is where you're the figurehead of this, you need to be a little worried. Last week's Collision brought in 375,000 viewers. The demo was 0.08.
Wow.
I'm not, AEW's in the mud. I don't care if TNA put out their stuff and they got a TV deal and they're pulling those numbers. You're not going to be out here long. You're going to be back on TNA Plus.
Yep.
Like that is not, and I get it's Collision, and again, we can probably be here. We do this all the time, you and me. We can do this for 3 more hours. But I already see the people move. Now the goalpost move is, well, it's just Collision. Oh, so now it's a secondary show. It's just like, dude, stop it. Admit that there's some flaws. Then Tony needs some help. It's not a bad thing to ask for help. It's not. But I'm telling you, we're in year 6, and those are the numbers you're pulling, my man. Like, there will not be a year 10. Like, I'm telling you, there's all the money in the world. Max, TBS, TNT, they're gonna be like, it's just not working anymore, guys. Like, they're going to get a contract to be nothing what they got the first time around. It's just
look at the numbers that WCW was doing and TBS wanted nothing to do with them.
Yeah.
I mean, and they were doing triple the numbers that AEW is doing. I mean, granted, it's a different time, and you're comparing audience numbers. Not everybody's watching, linear television anymore.
Right.
But,
no, exactly. Yeah.
But at the same time, in this world, we're looking at 600,000 as a success. I mean, but again, no matter how much I'm a WWE loyalist, and I'll be the first person to admit it, I really wish Tony Khan opened the checkbook and did whatever he could to get Shane McMahon and have Shane McMahon actually come into AEW.
That would have been such a game changer.
Come into creative. Even just the production part of it.
Idea. Like, just, hey, this is what I did back, me and Dad did this kind of stuff. This seemed to work. Maybe if you take X, Y, and Z and try that, maybe that'll work for you guys. Just a consultant. He should be the guy that's, again, I don't know who sits at the right hand. I know they showed a couple Gorilla with Tony. Shane should have been next to Tony.
Yeah.
And Tony's kind of like doing one of these, like, What'd you think? Is that all right? No, yeah, it's a good idea actually. You know what? Let's try this, guys. That's all. It's just ideas. And if you can't, there's no way your company is gonna fail when you don't have McMahon in it. You can't.
Yeah.
There's no way. And I know everyone. Oh well, no, it's TKO. Stephanie is still involved. There's still a McMahon in that house. Somewhere in that house, it could be the attic, it could be the basement. She's in the 15th bedroom. Stephanie's still in that place. And if it was going away, she would probably walk up to Nick or say something to Ari. Hey, listen, I think you need to try something like this because this is not working.
Yep.
But there's always a McMahon in the house. If you put Shane in there, that would have been such a move, such a great move for him. And not because to make it more like WWE, but like you said, that production, and you can't teach knowledge. Shane started just like he wanted to be like his old man. And Shane saw it all of it. He knows where the bodies are buried, where they burned them, where they didn't, wherever they put them, where they buried them, moved them, and buried them again. Shane knew all that. And that would have been Tony's, I guess, ace in the hole. So if you really wanted, and again, when it was rumored, this last thing I'll say, then we'll move on to the last two matches, but it reminded me when it was rumored and it was going to come out that Shane was moving. This was such an Eric Bischoff move by Tony Khan. I'm like, man, you're poaching his kid to come work for you and your company. Talk about taking it to WWE. I got your son over here. You can put that on TV. I got Shane right here, baby. What's up? How's that look to you, Nick Khan? How's that look, Paul Levesque? Shane McMahon, baby. I got a McMahon in my corner. Who do you got? Do you want to get edgy? That would have been, man, Eric Bischoff would have been smiling from ear like a Cheshire cat.
Yeah.
That would have been just so good. Like, probably the second best thing from ripping off the makeup when he was the priest doing the Billy and Chuck with him. Anyway, all right. Off the soapbox. All right. So we'll get back into the show that was on tonight. A cool ladies match. Obviously, we had Athena, Billy Starks taking on Toni Storm. Oh man, I don't have the last name written down. I apologize. Alex Windsor. Jeez, man,
Alex Windsor, yeah.
It's been a long night. Yeah, Alex Windsor for the little time that she's been wrestling in like some of the big matches on the show. Alex Windsor is really, really good at what she does. Her and Tony were a great tag team, and Athena is probably the one man. Another, I don't think you like to use the term either, but fumbled. Athena, this was the Athena in WWE from NXT, which she would be right up there with Rhea, right up there with Becky. Bayley.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
Athena is fantastic.
Oh man, her move is disgusting. It's out of the sky RKO. What does she call it? The O face now. She calls it. Love it. She has a Roman Reigns-esque run right now. As women on the Ring of Honor the World Heavyweight Championship for the women. But again, it's a belt like I feel like she doesn't even defend, which sucks for her on her end. Not taking it away from her, but it's like she never really defends it, so it kind of sucks. But great match, cool stuff. Obviously, I love me some Toni Storm. This match did not go the way I thought it would. Cool stuff, man. Athena gets the win on Toni, and obviously, for those who don't know, she is the women's gauntlet winner, Casino Gauntlet winner over from All In. So she has a title opportunity right on the clipboard, a la Money in the Bank. I do like that. Is obvious. I do like how they're making it their Money in the Bank, though. That is cool. I do like that they got to carry it around at any time. They can just sign it and hand it over. What happens if they don't have a pen? I don't know. I thought about that. What happens if they're like, that's got to be one of them. It's got to be with MJF, and he's like, and the ref's like, dude, where's your pen? Dude, you got to sign it. I can't bring the belt till you sign it. It's just some comedic shit.
MJF, I'll sign it in blood.
He would. He literally do something wild. He'd take the ring and knock the ref on it. Yeah. So But there was a great back and forth with all four women. I like that. That Billy and Alex are getting a lot of showcase with two top women in the company.
Yep.
Again, got to build that women's division. AEW has a great division for women. That doesn't really touch WWE yet, but they have a great bench and they have a great roster over there. So women's wrestling is very, very successful, very fruitful for the foreseeable future on both companies. But yeah, obviously Athena, I feel like I don't know if it's going to be like a Money in the Bank cash in or if Athena kind of just looks and goes, that's it. Like, this is the night we're doing this. I just, with her character, she's got to be just like kind of sneak up and attack Tony. We haven't seen Mercedes in a while though, so I don't know if she has something to do with that cash in. We'll see what happens. But with the tag, as far as the tag match that was tonight, your thoughts as far as Athena walking out of the win, pinning Tony, and your thoughts on how when she cashes in that guaranteed title shot.
I think it makes total sense. It's Athena is absolutely on fire right now. I have a feeling they're going to end up unifying the AEW and Ring of Honor women's titles. That's what it's coming down to.
I had that thought. Yeah.
Because I mean, how many women? See, the biggest problem is they don't have any. They don't have any specific split between AEW and Ring of Honor.
Right.
You know, it's like
mm-hmm.
they're two separate companies. I get it, you know, but again, everybody's going back and forth. There's no cohesion. There's no specific roster to Ring of Honor compared to AEW. It's just more TV for Tony to write. I mean, because I think doesn't Dustin Rhodes have like our Ring of Honor trios or 6-man tag belts and the AEW TNT title?
So
you know,
he's he's the trios, and the TNT champion.
So it's just, again, there needs to be some kind of specific split, unless they're going to treat Ring of Honor like an NXT where it's a developmental.
They need
but
to.
I don't know. I have a feeling they're going to unify those titles. I could care less. I couldn't care less about Mercedes. I heard she has 8 titles now or something.
She won a belt in Poland, and I believe is going for a belt this weekend. And she's up to 7 now. Yeah, she's up to 7.
Good gravy. I don't know.
One to defend every day of the week.
I think that's,
that's a lot.
When Ultimo Dragon did it and he won the J Cup and had all those, 13 titles, I think it was, back in WCW from New Japan.
It was wild.
That was cool. But it wasn't on all these different independent shows and independent titles. And, she's got the CMLL women's title. She's got the Stardom women's title. She's got the NJPW women's strong title. None of these titles mean anything for the company that you're signed a contract with.
Yep.
It means nothing. They're all independents. They're all indies. If you're going to do a storyline with somebody from CMLL, which they had Stephanie McCare, but Stephanie decided to go to WWE. So why aren't they just focusing on one title that she could win, hold for a little while, and then, somebody from CMLL becomes a challenger? Instead, she got 8 titles from all these different organizations that really don't mean jack shit in America.
Yeah. I was gonna say, they mean a lot to the company, but you put it on Mercedes, and it's like, huh? Wait, what?
Yeah.
And again, it's part of the booking. I think that's probably one of the. This is, I don't know if this has to be back when Tony signed Mercedes, aka Sasha Banks. He knew what he was going to make her, and I get what he's trying to do. 17 belts isn't going to make her your top female performer. That makes her the top female performer. Why Tony's still better than her is because she doesn't have the AEW Women's Championship. And I think they went with this whole Kenny Omega belt collector kind of thing going on, which was cute at first. It was cute when she had the TBS, and we know she's holding that TBS belt. I think we got another 355 days, and then Jade will now be erased from history, especially after what's going to happen probably at SummerSlam. But and it was like, okay, this belt's cool. Okay, CML, okay, that basically okay, and then we'll give you one from New Japan. We'll give you a Ring of Honor one, and it made sense. And now that Tony doesn't know how to stop it.
Yeah.
And Tony's like, I guess you just got to keep going, getting more belts, I guess, because I don't know what to do now. When I think all of us talked about it, I don't think you were on the show. It was me. It was Aaron. Aaron loves wrestling. It was Mike from the Mob Squad. I forgot who else was on. And I had this perfect synopsis, and I think they agreed. She lost this past pay-per-view at All In, right, to Tony. So she didn't even get the whole prize is why she came to AEW to get that title. This is where you start seeing the cracks, and then she starts kind of losing parts of the armor. She loses the belt here. She's on tilt. She goes to CMLL, loses it back to them. Oh my God! I can't believe she's still reeling from the loss of Tony. Goes all the way down. Obviously, she still holds on to the TBS belt. And finally has another confrontation with Tony. We're like, listen, my life is trash. I'm ruined. I can't win any more matches ever since you beat me. It's almost like what he just said, that CM Punk just said to Gunther. I don't want to have that. I need that title to be me again. And it's almost like you kind of take you kind of take Mercedes and you kind of feel bad. Now you're almost looking at a double turn. And I'm like, damn, Tony's just talking trash. You're like, damn, Tony, give her a break. She's lost like 7 belts.
I don't see Mercedes ever being a baby face.
For this particular, it would have made it because like Tony's always a better heel. Just losing again for the losing the belts aspect of it. Not staying a face. She would never stay. Oh my god. She'd come out the next night and start laughing and doing the dance and like telling Tony, all that stuff. But to get to that, she plays like the martyr, and you're like, oh, okay, we kind of feel bad, okay, that kind of thing. That's all. But listen, what I just booked is better than her going to Poland after losing. She doesn't win the AEW Women's Championship. Now she's in Poland over in Europe, winning all these other belts. For what? For what? Kenny at least an Impact.
The only way that it makes sense is if somebody calls her out on her bullshit by saying, the only reason why you're winning all these titles is to inflate your ego because you couldn't beat Tony.
Exactly.
Beat Tony. Yep. Which again doesn't make her a baby face because she, doesn't make her a victim until now. Jen Pepperman did say that that Mercedes is going to end up going on some kind of a losing streak to lose all of those titles back. Again, unless they're on AEW TV, what does it really matter?
Doesn't help anybody. There's no partnership there.
Right. Maybe the CMLL partnership. Okay.
You'll see that, yeah.
New Japan partnership. Okay. Yep. But none of these other titles mean a damn thing unless she loses them on AEW television at an AEW event, whether it's on Dynamyte, Collision, or any other pay-per-views.
Yep.
So it doesn't mean anything. Now again, AEW fans, they're on the internet. They're watching as much of the indie stuff as they can, and maybe they care about the indie stuff. But when you're looking at it from somebody who's been watching WWE, a perfect example, Omos was over in Noah in Japan. He was a tag champion. They never once said that on WWE TV. He was over there. He was doing his thing over there. He lost them. Now he's coming back. And, we still haven't seen him on WWE TV.
My man's out here looking like Veer. He'll get here eventually, man.
But they need to hurry up with this whole Mercedes thing. I don't know. I can't see her as a babyface at any point in time unless, again, no, I can't, because everything is to inflate her ego. That's why they brought her in as a babyface. The fans immediately turned on her.
Yep. That's why she's the CEO, baby. COOs are not getting good raps right about now, so it's kind of maybe a good gimmick for her. But I agree. It's just whatever they're gonna do, man. And that's why we can get into the whole TNA WWE thing, and you can speculate. They own them, they're buying them, whatever, dude. No one cares. Yeah. Listen, all I know is TNA championships are on WWE television. You can get mad about who has them. Obviously, JC Jane. It's Trick NA, baby. Again, I think Trick's having a great run. But they're on WWE TV. Why would you do that? Oh my god! Because people go, wait a minute. What do you mean they have a TNA belt? I thought this was WWE. Yeah, well, actually, because what happens is this and that. Well, how do I see that? We got to tune in Thursdays. You got to go watch TNA Impact to see what's going on with these guys. You got to watch Slammiversary. You got to watch Heatwave. You're gonna have to watch Bound for Glory. Oh, that's a partnership. I was defended. You know what I mean? That's how it works. That's when the people poo-poo the partnership between the two. About them not having it. Me and Mike talked a little bit about it on the rewind. It's just it does look bad. It looks like WWE's like, well, and it has it is not a falsehood. It's a truth. No WWE belt has gone over to NXT yet. So I'm sorry, TNA. So it is a bad look. So eventually, I really hope that they give one of these belts to somebody at TNA. Like if I'm Carlos, I'm looking at Paul. I'm like, okay, can we get one? Can we get one? Like one? Can we get like the North? Like that's why I thought Santino for sure was winning that belt. I was like, come on, like give it to Santino. Like and he's a WWE guy anyway. Just give it to Santino.
WWE stars also have the AAA tag titles now.
Berto
and Angel.
Los Garzas. Yep. And who's
or excuse me, Legado del Fantasma.
Yep. Used to be, but
it
still is. It still is. He's still like the leader.
Oh yeah,
yeah. I don't know what's gonna happen, man. I'm telling you right now, if El Grande Americano wins that mega AAA belt, man, I don't know. I think the internet might break. I don't know, man.
Triple Mania is going to be streamed on the WWE YouTube channel,
and that tells me it's got to be Dom. Not to go all crazy. I know it's AEW right now. I'm not trying to go, but it's got to be Dom. It's got to be Dom.
Sorry, guys, we went off on a tangent there.
But I know. Sorry, but
talking about partnerships in general.
Yeah, and it's just I think that's the way you do it. So now Dom, again, they do own AAA. Dom has the mega triple belt. That man is going to be rocking that everywhere. TV, shows, internet with Liv or whoever. That belt's going to get seen by everybody. If you don't know what that belt looked like, you're going to know in about another 2 weeks.
Yep.
Excuse me. But again, that's a partnership. But to say all that to your point, like you said, Mercedes can walk around. I mean, the bear shits in the woods. Like nobody, she can walk around with all the belts. But you got to look and go, wait, I don't even know those letters. What's on that belt? When did she defend that? Where do I even see that company? They don't know. It doesn't help. But
exactly.
I'll digress from that. Obviously, we go in the back again. Another promo, but short, quick, to the point. Makes a lot of sense. MJ and Hangman kind of meet up in the same locker room that happened last week, but this time no Hurt Syndicate obviously behind MJF. MJF pretty much tells Hangman, listen, I'm not the coward. You won't let me get that belt back. Tries to bring up Swerve, talking about Swerve being a stand-up guy and being a guy I respected having that belt. And pretty much Hangman's like, that's the best you got. That's the bullet in your chamber, bro. Like, that's going to make me go, you get out of here, bro. Like, that's cash that in, figure it out. Or you know what? Someone I do respect, I've known for 10 plus years, man. You gotta go beat Mark Briscoe. And that's, obviously MJF is kind of like, he's like, hey, you don't even have any backup, so I could probably kick the shit out of you right now. And MJF kind of just does the heel thing, back murmurs and backs away. Obviously, going into our main event, Mark Briscoe and Ricochet main event Dynamite. I mean, that's got to be big for Ricochet, man. I mean, that's big for him. Yeah. I don't think it should have main evented, but I understand. Obviously, we're going to talk about the aftermath. I get why it did, but that's nothing against either guy. But I just feel like with the other two, I thought the women's one was going to main event. And then they announced it was going to be Ricochet and Briscoe. Oh, the tag match is going to main event? The women are getting it? I was like, all right. Yeah, hell yeah, man. But they did not. It was Ricochet and Briscoe. Great match. I think Mark Briscoe is if you haven't already seen a lot of his matches, then he's very underrated. He's very unorthodox, very funny. I want to say somewhat comedic in what he does, the facial expressions, gets the crowd into it. He reminds me of like an old school, like, WWE, WCW guy, like not coming up, but like they just like looks, come on, gets the crowd hot. He's a heater, man. He gets the crowd pumped. They love this guy. He's smacking the ring. They start stomping. He's clapping. They're clapping. And he's an enigma. He's amazing. Obviously, the Briscoes were great when they were together, But Mark is amazing. The funky bow and just the J driver is disgusting. What a move! Many tag titles were won by that team with that move. But at the end of the day, Briscoe gets that win, man. Obviously, Gates of Agony tried to get involved. Didn't work out too much to Ricochet. But again, Ricochet showcasing why he's in the main event. Looked amazing at what he did. A lot of flips, but they make sense. Not just flipping around doing choreography stuff. A lot of his moves are great. High-flying stuff. Briscoe gets the win. We walk out, and you think that might be the end because it's 9:56. And you're like, oh, that's cool. We're going to go off the air. And we're going to, everyone's happy. Nope, no. Mark Briscoe grabs a mic and pretty much tells MJF. Now, I don't know how you felt about this promo. I know you were listening to it. Mark obviously isn't the best guy to talk. And nothing against him, but I was like, it felt like I was trying to listen Jey Uso cut his promo after getting blown up for yeeting for 20 minutes. And I'm not, no disrespect, but it was like Mark didn't know where he was going with it. He knew what points he had to hit. Yeah. And I was kind of lost. He feels like he's never going to see Jay again. I'm like, where are we going with this? Like, right. Brother's already passed away. I'm going to kill you in cold blood, yada, yada, yada. And you need to come out here because I'm not going to repent. And I'm like, so this is a whole thing to call MJF out. Got it. Okay, cool. So he finally calls MJF out. MJF's music hits. He's on the Tron, obviously. Very heelish. Telling him, I'm not stupid. I'm not a bumpkin like you. I'm not coming down there unless it means something. But apparently now it does. It's going to show Hangman that I can beat your ass to get that title shot that apparently he wants to give to you. Says, obviously, I'll see you next week if you make it. Comes up from behind, beats the hell out of him. Very, very short lived. Hits him with the mic, goes to hit him with the ring, the diamond ring. Hangman comes down. That's kind of how we go off. Hangman and MJF. He hits the lariat on MJF. I'm sorry, no lariat. He hits him with the foot. Did he hit the lariat? Can't
No,
remember.
I don't think he hit the lariat because he ran out.
He's getting to the ring. Yeah, then he rolled out. Yeah, then he rolled out and got out of there. Because at that point I was starting to like get the papers together, getting ready to come in here and do the show. Yeah. So obviously next week is going to be Briscoe. It's going to be MJF. We'll see. I don't know if that's going to be nefarious as well. MJF really doesn't have a lot of friends right now, so we'll see what happens. A lot of people on Briscoe's side. I think Hangman might get involved as well to kind of get Briscoe that shot. And I think you might go to Forbidden Door and get that. I don't think you get the feel good moment. You get the feel good match of Briscoe challenging for the AEW World Championship, which will be cool. Again, tough for me. I know it's two faces, and that you're running a risk. You're running a risk because you might see something where you get Hogan Rock, and Page comes out there booing him, and you're like, "Oh shit, what did we just do?" Right now, now him heel again. Great, we just worked for this for 6 months. Now he's getting booed again. Go back to the old thing. I thought the match was great. Again, I say what you want. Ricochet, like you said, he's doing a great job character wise on the internet, on TV. Great stuff. I love Briscoe. Always a fan of MJF whenever he's out there. It's going to be great stuff to see what happens. I think next week we really see where we're going as far as Forbidden Door, All Out. If anyone gets involved, MJF or Briscoe wins. I think we kind of talk a little bit more next week as far as where that rivalry is going. Your thoughts on the match and the MJF and Briscoe rivalry?
First of all, this is like one of the very few times I've actually seen Mark Briscoe wrestle.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was never watching Ring of Honor when the Briscoes were in their prime. So I like Mark Briscoe. I think he brings a really good dynamic to his character. I'm going to make it a point to go back and watch some of the older Briscoes matches, whether it's
so good.
Briscoes and Young Bucks, or Briscoes and FTR, or Briscoes and whatever, because I do want to watch more of their matches.
Mm-hmm.
That said, I agree with you about the promo afterwards. He was blown up. It really wasn't something where you could really follow coherently.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, I got the point. When MJF disrespected, his brother who passed away, Jay obviously, then Mark saw red. It's like, you don't get to disrespect my dead family member. I'm going to kick your ass. And when he said I'm not going to see him again, I agree with you. I was like, where's this going? And then when he said, because I know Jay's up there, and if I kill you in cold blood, you never say that in wrestling. I'm sorry, because that's not a promise that you could keep on. That's like that's pro wrestling promo 101.
Yeah.
I mean,
and
that's
you
why
destroy you, but
I'm going to kill you, baby. Or it's not going to, it's because you can't follow through with it.
It's what the sickos like.
Yeah. Overall, I enjoyed it. I liked where it went. I like the fact of MJF utilizing the Tron and, kind of having something taped play so that he could, rush Briscoe from behind. Old school heel tactic, fantastic. Austin used that, with The Rock when he said, but you got to ask yourself, is this real or is this Memorex? And it comes out from behind because Brock's pager went off and 316 is on there. But I liked it. Again, Hangman coming out. It's going to be interesting where they go. If I'm okay with the idea of somebody getting a title shot out of respect, but they're not going to win the title. I'm sorry. Hangman's got to beat Mark Briscoe, and it doesn't have to be something where he beats him down, or a Texas death match, or hardcore, whatever. He beats him in a competitive match. He wins. They shake hands. They go their separate ways. Then you have MJF to fodder. Be like, okay, you didn't get the job done. I'm next. that's when you go ahead and you have MJF come out, MJF beating Adam Page for the title. Then you start the thing with Mark Briscoe and the emotional, roller coaster, and he gets built up, ends up beating MJF in 6 months or whatever, to get that title, maybe even book it towards All In next year. And then you have that feel good moment. That's how you do it. You're not going to have Mark Briscoe beat Hangman Page for the title. At least they shouldn't.
Yeah, they definitely shouldn't. And again, I can almost see it in my head as you just talked about that. I can just the build up and it's the emotion, like the family comes into the ring, like it's a whole like, I'm not crying, you're crying. You know what I mean? Like they got Briscoe, they got.
I know that I know from listening to Jim Cornette that Papa Briscoe used to get involved in some of the Briscoe's stories and stuff. So have MJF go down to the farm and want to do something dastardly to the father, to the farm, similar to what Randy Orton did to John Cena Sr. Or was that Edge? I can't remember. But just to go to the homestand, Edge.
Edge was Edge.
Go do it that way. Have MJF really turn up the heel in the thing, and and then Mark Briscoe has even more to fight for, because he not only disrespected his dead brother, he went after his elderly father, the chicken farm that that the family helped build. All this stuff could be wrapped into one, to the point where Mark Briscoe's facing MJF at All In, and that's where you get the title win.
And it's definitely gonna be something good like that. I think the payoff is probably getting the belt off of MJF, because MJF actually wanted this rivalry. He requested to work with Mark, and I think this is the end game is for MJF to put, and that's why MJF is so damn good.
Yeah,
and he's like, listen, I will work this for 6 months, but at the end of the day, he's gonna beat me, and let's put him over. Like, let's make that make sense. You know what I mean? Like that's why MJF is so good, man. And I think that's kind of what the payoff is. I hope they do it, because that's the one where there's not a dry eye in the stadium wherever they do it. All in would be amazing at Wembley, 70-something thousand. Man, everyone comes out. Everyone's gonna come out of the locker room. You almost get a Cody-esque kind of thing. Everyone's holding them up, like, oh man, dude, that's you can't. Oh wow, that would be awesome. But yeah, it was a good episode, man. I think they, like you said, it was good. It wasn't anything wild. A lot of talking tonight, but like I say, even with WWE, you needed that. You got to start setting up your Collision. Forbidden Door is only 3 weeks away.
Yeah.
So you got to start kind of planting those seeds as well and you need Christian, obviously, to talk about Cope and things like that. So it was a good episode for me. It was good. It was definitely better than I think last week's, in my opinion. But I think we'll get there as we get closer to Forbidden Door.
Oh yeah.
Might start getting some more momentum and some more heat going forward as far as the storyline. So yeah, man, everything was good. I appreciate you jumping in. I know you came right out. Came in hot from work, so I appreciate you, man.
Yeah.
I mean, good for you. I mean, they did the overrun, so it was okay. You gave you some time to get in.
Yeah.
But awesome, man. Obviously, we were on the prediction show the other day. We were talking SummerSlam. We were talking tonight about it. Where can everyone else find you on the socials when you're not with us talking wrestling?
At Vinny Suds, at Suds Media, both on X, Vinny Suds on Facebook, Suds and Squared Circle on Instagram, and all over. It's going to end up being either Suds and Squared Circle, Suds Media, something of that. Just go to suds-media.com. And don't forget this Friday night, Sudsy Awards live, 8 p.m. Eastern on many of these same networks that you're watching now. It's our annual event. John Anthony is going to be a presenter, as well as, Mike from the Run-In, Mike and Tori from Kicking Out at 2, Mike from Mob Squad. So there's a bunch of the who's who of wrestling and soap opera podcasters that are presenters. So we got a couple of tricks up our sleeve as well. So tune in 8 p.m. Eastern, 2 days from now. That's Friday, August 1st, 8 p.m. Eastern, right here on many of these same channels that you're watching now.
Awesome. I'm excited. You get that over to you. I'm very excited to be a presenter for the show, man. I'm very honored, second year in a row, so I'm pumped. As far as me, you can catch me pretty much every day of the week doing something. We were live on Monday with the rundown. Last night we were live doing predictions, talking NXT Rewind. Tonight doing TNA. I'm sorry, AEW. Tomorrow night is talking TNA. Friday night the SmackDown Shakedown. And obviously this weekend, a huge huge SummerSlam lineup for night 1 and night 2, possibly bigger than WrestleMania. We will be myself, I think probably Vinny, a bunch of other people that you see during the week. We jumping in for some post production stuff, talking post shows, stuff like that. So very, very excited for all that. But to catch any of that and all the stuff Vinny just talked about as far as the Sudsies and catching anything else, you got to like, comment, subscribe, do the thing. If you made it this far, leave me a comment, and the best thing you can do to help all of us in the media group is to like this, give us that thumbs up. It lets the algorithm and the YouTube know good stuff, pumps it out to everybody else. So for that we thank you and appreciate it. So awesome, another great episode 2 in the books. Let's go for number 3 next week then.
I'm good.
Awesome. So for Vinny from Suds and Squared, I'm John Anthony, guys. We'll talk to you tomorrow night. I'm talking TNA.